Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a hands-on with the brand new Nubia Z20. This is the successor of the Nubia X that we saw back at CES 2019. It's running some of the latest specifications, but one of the main and very unique things about this device is the fact that it actually has two displays, one on the front and one on the back. This is TK and this is XDA TV. So first thing we'll notice right there, we have a small little packet and a SIM removal tool. It looks like they include a case and some basically instruction manual and stuff like that. Basic stuff that we get here. And of course we have the brand new Nubia Z20, not the X, the Z20. And then the rest of the stuff that we have in the box essentially is basically a power charger. Let's go ahead and look at it here. So we have a cable, a dongle, basically since we don't have a 3.5mm headphone jack in the phone, as well as the fast charger that comes directly in the box. Now that we're done with the box, as you saw, we have an always-on display on the front as well as on the back. Both displays are actually on. As I mentioned, 720p display, HD plus, as well as basically a full HD plus here on the front with the front-facing 6.4-inch display, both AMOLED, and again, both providing us the best picture qualities. So no 4K display. But the overall specifications of this device, we are running the latest Snapdragon 855. We have a 6.4-inch front-facing full HD, basically a 1080p plus AMOLED display that you can unlock obviously using the fingerprint sensor. We have an always-on display that's both on the front as well as on the back, mirrored basically in the exact same information with the battery level. The back display is a 720p display, and it basically a 5.1-inch display. So let's go ahead and unlock the device in the back. And you'll see it's slightly a dimmer display. It's not as bright as the front, but it's intended to basically use, whenever you're taking pictures, you want to use it to play video, or even basically for front-facing video. So you'll notice right there, the camera is sitting right there, and you can definitely see it. You are able to jump into wide-angle mode, but you don't have the ability of using the telephoto lens. And I'll talk to you guys a little bit about the camera experience. Let's go ahead and switch over to the front. Whenever you want to do that, obviously it switches it over, so now we're using an impact-facing sensor. And what I mean by that is in the video mode, when you're going in here, you're capable of going all the way to 8K. Let's go into video. We have a beta mode of an 8K, similar to the one we saw with the Red Magic 3. Although keep in mind, this is only 15 frames per second and intended for outdoor use for basically nature videos. I'll link you guys a video in the description if you'd like to see a sample of what it looks like from the Red Magic 3. We are able to go all the way to 4K at 60 frames per second. Although when we switch over to the front-facing camera, even though we're using the same sensors, I'm not sure why, but we are capped at 1080p. Again, I'm not sure. I mean, they're treating them as front-facing sensors. But we have portrait mode, we have video mode, we have photo mode, we have, let's go ahead, we have photo mode, pro mode, and then camera gallery. Night mode is not present on the back-facing sensor. Let's go ahead and switch over to the front. I have an automatic sensor here that switches over, so I can actually do this as many times as I want. And the cool thing is, if let's say I open an app here, and let's say I open up another app here, I can actually switch between these apps, go back as many times as I want. And of course, you can basically switch between the devices. So let's go ahead and put that here. And of course, I can unlock it with the fingerprint sensor. Speaking of the fingerprint sensor, one thing we have here is on the right side, we have one fingerprint sensor, and on the left side, we have another fingerprint sensor. And depending on which fingerprint sensor you use whenever the display is off, so let's say in this situation, I turn it on, the display will turn on this way. If I unlock it this way, this display will turn on. Even though I have the automatic sensor, it knows which display to turn on for us. I can lock it up, go back in, again, front-facing sensor. The software experience is pretty much almost stock experience, even though this is not stock Android. We do have a skin that's built in on top of it. We have dual SIM support. The model that we have here is an 8 gig with 128 gigs of internal storage. No expandable storage, unfortunately, so we have dual SIM support, LTE support in the US. The display does have some options to be able to customize it, and you can get into them. We do have specific options for the always-on display. You can customize them, different options here. And of course, I can see I'm using the beta here, and you can of course customize it. Now we do have some options here to customize it. By default, I like to keep it to basically do multitasking, meaning you can run two different applications on the front and the back. You can run it in mirror mode, which essentially just mirrors the front display to the back. The other thing that's really, really nice is the ability of using gestures. So I can actually just swipe, turn around, and you can see that this is here. And if I turn back here, we don't have the application sitting there. Although when I go here, I'll go 3-finger swipe again, I can do the exact same thing, throw it to the other display. Very nice, very simple, and you can of course customize it there. The always on display we talked about, the secondary space, switching between two screens, you have the ability of basically using the always show main screen whenever you turn it on. So I have it by default right now, automatic. You don't have to keep it that way. You can basically customize it by putting a button there. It's very, very easy, very good. We also have some pressure sensitive borders which enable us to basically initiate things. So right now it's set up to that A small short grip will open up one-handed mode, which is built in. And of course, let's go back one more time. A long grip will basically take a screenshot, and that's really nice, very simple, very easy to basically set up. You can of course customize it to your own liking. Now, even though this is running somewhat of a custom skin, it is very stock Android-esque. It looks very stock, and it is basically running Android 9. And version of the software that we have here is version 3.0 with no updates out of the box. Now, the Nubia Z20 is running some of the latest specifications on the market. It's also using the main sensors on both the front and the back-facing experience. We don't have a pop-up mechanism. We don't have a punch hole camera. This basically uses one set of cameras, 3 cameras specifically, the standard, the wide, the ultra wide, as well as the telephoto as your main cameras. Although, as you saw with the actual, when we were looking into these settings, it doesn't give you the exact same experience on both the front and the back. And I'm hoping they can actually unlock that in the future, as I feel like if you're using the same sensors, there's really no reason for you not to have 4K 60 on the front-facing experience. Why cap it at 1080p? But other than that, we'll obviously keep most of that for the full review, as well as the camera review that's going to be coming out very soon on XDA. Keep it here. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of the Z20? And did you get a chance to play with the Nubia X? Because that's actually the initial, I would say, the inspiration for the Z20. This one is running obviously the latest specs, and we saw the Nubia X earlier at CES 2019, and definitely very, very excited. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. Make sure you check out my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.